Shepherd Neame, Whitstable Bay Organic Ale.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. Yet another one from Shepherd Neame, and it is the Whitstable Bay Organic Ale. Now, I just had the Whitstable Bay Pale Ale, and Whitstable Bay is a sub-label of the Shepherd Neame Brewery, and if you look on the label, I mentioned this in the last video as well, it will say I don't know if you can see that or not, get my ugly boat race out of the way. That is the Faversham Steam Brewery. If you look at my video of the ride down there on my motorbike to the Shepherd Neame Brewery, you'll see that it's all connected. The Faversham Brewery is on the other side of the road and the Shepherd Neame Brewery is on that side of the road. It's all connected, it's not different in any way, it's basically the same brewery. And I've tried the Pale Ale, I've tried the Ruby Ale, I've got some of the Ruby Ale in the fridge. I don't think I've tried the Organic Ale before, but this is from Shepherd Neame and they're generally a good brewery. Now, I've got some favourite breweries, some favourite English breweries at the moment. Adnams being one, Fuller's being the other, Shepherd Neame being another one, Samuel Smith's another, Timothy Taylor being another, Theakston's, you know, you get the gist of it. Elgood's as well, another really good Cambridge brewery. And the reason I like them is because they're consistent and they generally get things right, and they are a credit to this country and its brewing traditions. And I think it's getting a little bit overlooked now with the craze on craft beer. And don't get me wrong, you know my views on craft beer, it certainly has a place for it, and you know, I don't want to knock craft brewers, whatever they're doing, more power to them. I just think they're overshadowing some of the traditional brewers, and I think for value for money and good beer, you just cannot beat breweries like this. And they're they are the oldest brewery in the United Kingdom. 1698 they were formed, or they can trace their lineage back to, and they've been brewing ever since. And they have a great tradition. They own a lot of pubs in the Kent area. And obviously I'm from Kent, and well, I'm actually from London. I'm originally from London. I've moved down to Kent. I've been on and off in Kent for 7 years. The last 4 years is it 4 or 3? I can't remember. Yeah, I think I moved down here 3 years ago, 2017. No, nearly 4 years. September it'll be 4 years. And I love it down here because there's some great pubs, especially where I am. You know, you don't have to go far to find a decent pub. Obviously COVID has put the kibosh on everything now. But a lot of them are Shepherd Neame pubs, and the beer is good. I had a bit of a downer when I first came down here and I was frequenting a pub that was a Shepherd Neame pub, but the beer they were selling, it was crap. They just didn't know how to keep it, and it put me off Shepherd Neame for a long time. But I've recently got back into Shepherd Neame beer and I absolutely love it now, and it's rare that I find a bad beer that comes from Shepherd Neame. And this Whitstable Bay range they do is quite good. As I say, the Ruby Ale is good. The Pale Ale I've just reviewed, really enjoyed that. It does wind me up about the clear bottles. I'm not going to have a rant. You all know my views on clear bottles. The Whitstable Bay range is named after Whitstable Bay, obviously. If you ever get a chance to go down there, you have to go down there. It is an absolutely amazing place. It really is good. On a summer's day, you just cannot beat it. If you think Brighton's full of fucking ponces and it's overpriced and it's got a shit beach and it's full of wankers and the traffic wardens are absolute fucking bellends, get yourself down Whitstable Bay. It's got a bit more character, a bit more originality to it, if you know what I mean. And yeah, I do like it. And as I said in the last video, I've been down there a few times, take the dogs down there. They absolutely love it. Went down there on a bike once and got shouted at by an old bloke because my exhaust was too loud. I'll give it a bit of a crack on a throttle, and yeah, he got the arsehole with me. But yeah, aside from that, it's really nice. I do like it down there. So with that in mind, let's investigate this one. Right, organic ale, which I have found out is a golden ale, and it's a beer that is made with all organic ingredients. And I'm just looking on the side, it says combines old seaside charm. Yeah, this is Whitstable Bay, and it's a pretty good description of it. Whitstable combines old seaside charm with a modern bohemian vibe and is reflected in the Whitstable Bay collection. Brewed using organic ingredients and the brewery's own chalk filtered mineral water. Kent is full of chalk. The soil is full of chalk. If you've ever looked at the White Cliffs of Dover, they're chalk. The soil here it's got a very high chalk content. The water here is very, very hard. So for example, if you come up from Scotland, or if you go up to the north of England, or even the southwest, the water is very, very soft. It foams up really easily. You don't get a lot of lime scale. Here, it's very hard. It's full of minerals because of the chalk content, and they use it for the beer. And I don't know whether it adds seasoning to to the beer or not. Whether chalk does, I know sulphur does, like you get in Burton, but not so much the chalk. But that's what they have, and they've got an artesian well in the Shepherd Neame Brewery, and that's where they get their water from. So maybe that does give it some flavour. That's what they're saying. It's got a chalk-filled water. It's using chalk-filled water from the artesian well. Whitstable Bay Organic Ale is a superbly balanced golden ale blending citrusy hops with well-defined malty flavours that give you a unique finish. Now the pale ale that I tried, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost certain, I could taste it anyway. It had crystal malt in there, a very nice sweet malt that you get the natural sugars occurring from the malt, and that translates to the flavour, and it's really nice. It does give it a lovely, it's hard to describe it, but you know it as soon as the flavour, as soon as you taste it. It's almost like a honey sweetness, but it's not honey, if you know what I mean. It's really hard to describe, but as I say, you do find it in a lot of British beers, or English beers I should say, and it tastes fantastic. It gives the beer a real nice flavour, and I think they're using it in this one as well. There's no indication as to what the hops are. In the pale ale they're using Challenger and Styrian Goldings. I don't know what they're using here, but let's get it home and let's see what's going on. Right, it's before I do, it's 500 ml and it's 4.5%. If I didn't say that before, I can't remember. There's the cap. Now, I don't like this cap, it's a bit insipid. They've got, that's a ship that's down, or is it a ship or a boat? I don't know. But it's one of them, and it's based in the harbour, and it's called Neptune or something, I think it's called. And they've got, well, Whitstable Bay is renowned for its oysters. And if you do go down there, you'll see loads of oyster shells, and they have the lobster, the ships that pick up the oysters there as well, so it's well worth a trip. I highly recommend it. Anyway, let's get it into ye olde glass. Right, now that's strange because the pale ale was a hell of a lot lighter than that. That's quite dark, that's very amber in its colour. What are we getting on the nose? Yeah, it's that typical Shepherd Neame, real strong hoppy aromas, big, grassy and herbal notes. Surprisingly, that's not skunked, and the Whitstable Bay wasn't skunked either. And the two of these have been kept in a, well, I got one of them from round the corner, and it was under a shelf, so it's been in the dark a long time, and it's quite nice. I can really smell that crystal malt coming from here now. it's a mixture of that and some quite fruity hops, but it's not your American style hops. It's like, what would that be? It's like pear and apple with a little hint of orange zest, but it's really nice. It really does give you that aroma that you would associate with Shepherd Neame. And if you've ever had Shepherd Neame beers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I said it on the last video, the Welsh fellow on that Real Ale craft beer, he seems to think that Shepherd Neame beer has got some sort of copper taste to it. I don't know where he's getting that from. I don't know whether he's had bad beer from Shepherd Neame, but that wouldn't have been what I would describe as the flavour I was getting. It was just, when I originally tried that Shepherd Neame beer when I first came down here, that put me off it. I think a lot of it had to do with the actual way it was poured and stored. The beer may have been good at one point. I think it was stale beer. I think that's what it was. It didn't have that vinegar smell, but it just didn't taste right. And I've tasted beer since on tap from Shepherd Neame, and it tasted so much better than that. But this doesn't smell too bad. There is definite fruit there. It's like a mixture of like real big grass flavour and herbal notes. Some of that crystal malt, you can get that, but there's also an undercurrent of fruit, and I'm struggling to put my finger on what that is. It will come to me in a bit. But anyway, it smells nice, put it that way. Let's get it down the hatch, see what's going on. Bottoms up. Oh, now on this one, I did get a metallic taste on that. It wasn't copper, but there was metallic. Why the fuck is that happening? Let me try again. Now this beer's, I wouldn't say it's warm, I'd say it's cellar temperature. So you'd probably get this served up to you at this temperature in a pub. Let me try that again, because I did get a bit of a metallic taste on it. Let me try. Not sure about that. Is that my imagination, or is it? It seems like it's got some kind of metallic note. It's not copper. It's like it's come out straight out of a can, and that flavour from the can, well, not saying a flavour from the can, but the metal from a can has rubbed off on it. I'm not sure about this. I don't know if my palate is playing tricks on me. Now, I've had the pale ale before this, and it was absolutely gorgeous. What's the sell-by date on this? Even if there is one on here, is there? Where's the fucking sell-by date on this? Come on, man. Jesus, you don't make it easy there. Can't find it. Well, I don't know where that's gone, whether it's on the cap or not. Right, I ain't got the cap, I've thrown that away. I will say one thing. Despite the flavour, which I'll get onto in a minute, it's got a very nice, light mouthfeel to it. It's really nice. The head retention's good as well. But there's something in there that's I don't know. It's putting me into putting me in two minds. Now, don't get me wrong. It does taste nice. I'm getting some of the crystal malt in there. Little touch of caramel malt. It's more fruity and hoppy than it is malty. But there is traces of that crystal malt. I can get that sweetness. But there's an aftertaste, and it's like I'm trying to work out whether it's some weird style fruity flavour or whether it is actually metallic. It certainly tastes metallic. Oh, I don't know, that's put me in a fucking quandary now. It's made me question my judgment on beer, because I can't work out what that is. It's really strange. It's like 1 minute it tastes like a metallic style flavour, and then it sort of turns around to being like a real strong hoppy style flavour. But it's definitely metallic. It's at some points, if you put like a ring pull or something in your mouth, or what have I got here? There was a bit of a Fender jazz bass. What does that taste like? Tastes like a Fender jazz bass. But you know that tin foil? That's what I'm thinking of. That's what it's reminding me of, like a tin foil type flavour. And now I'm not getting it, which is even more weird. Well, that has completely thrown me. I would like to see what the sell-by date on this is, because I got it from round the corner, and the fella around the corner, he actually gives me out-of-date beer, and it's usually the Eastern European stuff, and it's crap to start off with, if you know what I mean. But it's free, and I take a few mouthfuls of it, and I just think I'm doing him a favour. I'm throwing it away, because he was going to throw it away anyway, and he gave it to me for nothing, which I thought was decent of him. But it's not. He's not going to sell it. But I'm wondering whether this is one of them out-of-date beers, and he's just left it because I can't see a sell-by date on it. Oh, I really don't know about this. What do I do? What do I do? I'll have another mouthful. And the fact I've drunk half a pint and I still haven't made my mind up, it's not really that nasty. I mean, there's beers that one mouthful is enough for me, and it's, yeah, this is shit. There's no redeeming features in it. But this is weirdly, how can I put it? It's weirdly drinkable. I mean, the mouthfeel is really nice and light, goes down very smoothly. There's lots of nice hoppy flavours, and even some of that, as I say, nice crystal malt. But there's a little touch of a metallic note on it. It's not massive, as I say, but it is there. But having said that, it seems to be getting less and less. Now, I don't know whether that's my palate adjusting, or whether it's something to do with the way it was poured. You know, sometimes you need to let, well, if it's lager, you obviously need to let the sulphur escape and all that. I don't know about this one. I really do not know. But it obviously can't be that bad, because look at me. I've downed over half a pint of it, and I'm still, it hasn't put me off, put it that way. Maybe if it was a little colder, would I have got that? Who knows? It isn't bad though, I have to say. It's got more redeeming qualities than it has bad. In fact, I think the only slight downside was that metallic-y note. The rest is really good. It's a typical Shepherd Neame beer. very, very big on the grass, herbal, earthy notes, which is a real, for me, it's a real characteristic of Shepherd Neame beer. You do get that in the Spitfire stuff, you get it in the Bishop's Finger stuff, you get it in the 1698 stuff, and you get it in the India Pale Ale. It's there. It's like a unique. Well, I wouldn't say it's unique, but it's a characteristic of Shepherd Neame beer. Some people may not like that. I actually really do like it, and this has got that in abundance. In a blindfold test, I think I could recognise that as a Shepherd Neame beer. And as I say, the only thing that's got me having reservations about it is that metallic note, but it doesn't put me off for some reason. And the more I drink, the less, I don't know, as I say, I don't know whether it's my palate or whether it's just, I don't know, subsiding in it or what, but yeah, not bad, with a caveat. So what's the verdict on Whitstable Bay Organic Ale? It's not bad. It's got more going for it good than it has bad. I'm just looking at the label here. It says superbly balanced. I'd say that's more hoppy than it is malty, but I'm not sure whether I should revisit this one or not, because there's no sell-by date on this, and that shop's renowned for selling out of date beer, and I'm wondering whether this is out of date, how long it's been there. Believe me, if you saw where I lived, on the estate I live, people don't drink ale generally. I think I'm the only ale drinker. It's rare. Everyone you see coming out of shops around here, they're all buying bottles of Budweiser and Foster's and Carlin and shit. It's not. That's why the selection is so bad. But I'm only going on what I've got here at the moment. It's not bad. It is a typical Shepherd Neame beer, but there's just that metallic note to it, and with that in mind, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, and I really think I need to revisit this and maybe get it from a supermarket who gets, I think they get them in fresher, but it's not bad. I mean, all that considered, even if it is, you know, nearing its sell by date or gone past it, it isn't a bad beer. It's just that little metallic note has really thrown me, because I wouldn't expect that from a Shepherd Neame beer, and especially coming from a bottle. If it was in a can, I'd say, well, yeah, you know, that's where it's come from. Never had that before in a Shepherd Neame beer, so I can, as I say, I can only go on what I've got. That's my assessment of it. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 on that, and I'm going to recommend it with caution. If you do pick some up, have a taste of it, let me know what you think. I'm probably going to be revisiting that one, because I think it needs a second review, because I don't think Shepherd Neame would put a beer out like that. But there you go, that's just me. 7 out of 10, recommended with a little bit of caution. And remember, beer is working class champagne.